in our finals for the third place of this tournament between Dark Passage and, of course, our victors for the last game, Millenium, who look incredibly strong right now.
Yeah, Millenium just dominated last game. Their early game presence was crazy. They were everywhere. Every single lane won. I don't think Dark Passage at any point in that last game looked like they were putting up a good fight. So this game, they really need to turn things around.
They definitely do. If you've only just joined us, we'll be your casters for the evening. My name is Munchables, and casting with me is Osigalus. We're going to be heading straight into the Champion Select of Game 2. Make sure, of course, if you are enjoying the content, follow us on Twitter. Make sure you click on that like button on Facebook as well. You'll be able to find all the standings and things at the website at blackmonstercup.com. We will be going into our finals later on as well between H2K and, of course, SK Prime, who have been looking incredibly strong as of late. But back into this game, Millenium versus Dark Passage. Millenium locking in that Irelia for Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me too much. Last game, they could not pick it because Elwind had first pick and locked that in straight away. This game, they want to go for it, and I guess this is quite a bold thing to do. Given how hard we saw Jax beat Irelia last game, this is basically saying, I don't think Elwind's Jax can compare to my Jax. I think I'm going to beat that if we go for it. And, you know, a lot of very top-level Irelia players, Wicked famously said this back in, like, Season 2, said that Irelia can win pretty much every matchup is a skill matchup. So we'll have to see if Irelia can beat whatever she goes up against this time, especially if it's a Jax. But we don't know that for sure yet, so looking at what else we've got Lucian and Pantheon locked in by Dark Passage. This is a really typical first two locks in if you are on purple team right now in the current patch. It's very, very strong, so not too surprised to see that. We actually saw it at IEM, I believe. And then we've got Millenium locking in Olaf and Ezreal. Now that's a bit less common.
Yeah, the Olaf we have seen Horo play before. We saw him play that in, I believe it was the quarterfinals, may have been the semi-finals, and he did a good job on that. And Ezreal as well has been coming into the meta slightly. We generally see him being built with that blue build that we used to see sort of at the beginning of season, I think it was the beginning of season 4, might have been season 3 even. But interested to see how this goes. Very different matchup.
It is a very different matchup, and I actually quite like the Ezreal pickup because basically against someone like Pantheon, you want to be keeping your distance. And also, I mean, he didn't know this at the time, but against someone like Malphite, who they could have assumed Elwyn was going to pick, and I'll talk about that in a second, it's also a good pick because you can easily get away from that unstoppable force. So let's talk about why Malphite was sort of a predictable pick here. Basically, Elwind has played this Malphite versus Irelia matchup probably 4 or 5 times in the BMC so far. If Millenium have done any research on them, which I'm sure they have, they knew that this was likely to come out. So therefore, picking Ezreal preemptively means that they're making the Malphite pick potentially worse and saying to Dark Passage, look, if you really want it, you're going to struggle in the later stages of the game when you're trying to get onto our backline.
Now, if this gets locked in, the looks would be very bold. It has been changed, obviously. I'm slightly behind. So, Karthus going to be locked in against a Malphite. That is a very brave pick.
That is very brave. Karthus excels when he can just maneuver around a fight and get as much of his defile damage and lay wastes off as possible. But against this team composition, you've got Pantheon stun, you've got Malphite stun, or knock-up rather, you've got the charm coming out of Ahri, you've got a stun coming out of Thresh. He is going to struggle to maneuver around and do what he wants to. And actually, I'm sure that they are just messing with us. But they're not swapping out the Karthus to a different position right now. Which is implying maybe like a Karthus Blitzcrank bot lane? I don't know.
Well, I'm hoping that they swap, but he's rolling Exhaust, which is a summoner spell that you regularly see on Karthus. It allows you to land those Skittles. Well, they're not even Skittles anymore, but I still like to call them Skittles. It allows you to sort of slow them down, and I mean, it used to reduce resistances as well. I believe it still does, but not as much. And I mean, I could believe Ryu on Ezreal mid lane. It is a sort of Korean-style mid laner, so possibly could see this. And by the looks of things, 2 seconds left. That is going to be locked in, so Very interesting matchup coming out here. Ezreal in the mid lane up against Ari. Karthus Blitzcrank bot lane?
Ryu might still be bot lane, right? They might just be swapping it so that Ryu goes bot instead of Kerp. He did take heal at the last second, which kind of implies that he's not going for anything too aggressive. But just before we completely dismiss the possibility,
well,
Kerp on Karthus is going to be really hard against Ari. Naru is great against Karthus in lane, so it would make sense to send him somewhere else if they can. But I'm not sure that they will do it, because they might just decide, Blitzcrank Ezreal, that's a solid bot lane. We'll just wait until late game when Kerp gets strong anyway.
Well, Kerp is a mid lane main anyway, isn't he? So realistically, this might not be too bad for them. I know Ryu's played Ezreal in the past, so he already has that experience on their champion. This could actually be a really smart swap by them. We'll have to see how this pans out for them. Just for anyone who wasn't here for the last game, Creaton was not able to play today, so Kerp is subbing in on his behalf. So he's going to be, well, potentially going to be in the AD carry position. We saw him on Lucian last game. Possibly going to be seeing him mid lane on that Karthus. We'll have to find out.
Alright, but we are going to head into a music break real quick, guys, before we go into Game 2 of our best of 3 third place match between Millenium and Dark Passage. Millenium looking really strong last game. You're going to have to wait and see if they can keep it up. Don't go anywhere.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to our third place finals. We're going to have Millenium immediately going aggressive. We've seen 2 flashes be burst. We saw J-Ree flash forwards, 3 now. We saw J-Ree flash forwards to try and grab Naru. He was able to flash away from that one, and then you just saw Velistraza had to flash away to get away from Horo's throwing axes.
Oh shoot,
in
it was
the end,
4 actually.
Was it 4?
Yeah, it was 4. We saw 2 flash forwards and 2 flash aways.
Oh, okay, so they traded
properly. I can't do math. Yep.
But by the looks of things, as we said in Champion Select, Ryu and Kerp have swapped places. We're going to have Ryu in this bot lane playing Ezreal, and we're going to have Kerp in the mid lane on that Karthus. So switching positions here.
Yeah, it's an interesting decision. Obviously, Creaton, the normal AD carry for Millenium, wasn't able to be here tonight. So putting Ryu in the bot lane, I mean, it's not too different than subbing him out for Kerp. Velistraza might need to be careful here. Yeah,
they could be in trouble. A nice play is going to knock them away, but Padden gets caught by that rocket grab, and they're actually taking a lot of damage. Those mystic shots from Ryu do a fair chunk even at level 1, and nice damage there coming out. Trying to, actually, nice play there by Dark Passage. They deny that Gromp from Horo, sorry, and that's going to mean he has to go elsewhere. Obviously, they knew that the bot lanes were down there, but Padden gets caught yet again by that rocket grab. Millenium playing very aggressively.
Yeah, this is a crazy amount of stuff going on straight as we get onto the Rift. Haven't even been able to commentate over it at all. Like, the red stuff we just completely couldn't talk about because there's an all-in in the bottom. But Horo actually has been put very far behind. Obviously, you tend to smite straight away, especially on 4.21, which I'll talk about in a second, when you're going for the Gromp or the Krugs. Basically, for Gromp and Krugs, you now steal their effect with Smite, rather than just get a buff, so they have that effect. If you try and kill Krugs, they will stun you. If you try and kill Gromp, it will put a damage every time. Whoa, Velistraza!
Velistraza in trouble yet again. Ryu doing a lot of damage. There's the Ignite going down a little bit over-aggressively, maybe, but one more auto attack should finish him. The heal comes out. J-Ree now in trouble. There's another heal. He goes down, though. Padden flashes forward for this one. This bot lane is explosive.
That was a great turnaround by Dark Passage. Millenium had been playing so far up the entire time. To be fair, that's what you need to do in this lane. If you don't abuse the fact that Ezreal and Blitzcrank is so aggressive, then you're going to get out-traded through the minions with light slingers and piercing lights. Oh, Ryu is actually getting engaged on even more here.
Ryu could be in trouble, doesn't have any mana, does use that Arcane Shift to get out of there. If Velistraza can land another hook, Ryu may well go down.
Horo's
here. Does
here.
Have flashing available. Horo coming around the back. This could be a nice bait by Ryu. We'll have to see if they're going to live through this one. Horo's coming in. Can Velistraza play him away? Actually taking a lot of damage. That's the first kill going down. Velistraza picks that one up. Padden manages to get the red buff, but Ryu going to jump straight after him. Double kill for Ryu, and he gets a red buff.
Yeah, that was very interesting, actually. Horo playing potentially very aggressive because he was put behind early, went straight for that, and now there's a red buff on Ryu. Buff transfer complete. He is going to be so strong in this bot lane, especially if he shoves this wave up, goes back to buy, and uses those 2 kills worth of gold to get items comparable to what Padden has right now. That red buff is definitely going to put him at an edge. But yes, like I was saying, the fact that you have to smite straight away when you're doing Grug and Crump. Oh, whoa, mid lane!
The flash forwards from Kevin to slow down Naru. He's going to go down a nice Blade Surge. Picks that one up, and obviously his flash was still on cooldown from all of that level 1 action.
Yeah, I mean, that was an amazing play by Kevin, being aware of the fact that there was no flash in the mid lane still. It was coming up soon, right? So they knew that they had to go for something soon if they wanted to go for something at all. Horo wasn't able to come because he had already, you know, he'd gone for that bot lane kill, he died, he'd had to go in jungle from being behind, so he couldn't really be the one to come down. But Kevin, taking advantage of the fact that he was struggling a little bit in lane versus Elwind, decided to make something happen somewhere else. And getting the kill onto Kevin is a very big deal because he's working towards that Trinity Force. He's going to hit that mid-game power spike at the same time as Ryu and then make something seriously big happen in those mid-game team fights.
Considering our first game, we saw a fairly slow start between these teams. This game has been ridiculous so far. We're 5 minutes in and we've got 5 kills on the board already. And so far Millenium are having a good time of it. 1,000 gold ahead so far, and Ryu, I think that red buff is going to be really nice for them in the bot lane, but Velastraza already looking pretty damn tanky down there.
Yeah, I mean, he has picked up that health crystal, obviously working towards a sight stone. That is going to help him survive a little bit more, but Ryu, because he picked up a Sheen first, is going to have a lot of extra damage. Normally, if you're going even in lane, or you're struggling, you pick up a Phage first. Even on someone like Ezreal, who can really abuse the Sheen, right? But because he is being very aggressive, he's got a Blitzcrank partnered with him, he's got a red buff, picking up that Sheen means he's going to be hitting for so much damage on this. Just Horo in the jungle, though. Whoa!
The Ignite is ticking. Isn't going to be enough. He flashes away. He's going to survive, though. Not quite able to finish that one off. We're going to see. Crystal looks like he wants to go aggressive for this one. He's going between the towers. Kerp is there, though. This could be bad for Crystal. Kerp's ultimate is available, but he's out of mana.
Yeah, that was a crazy fight going on Horo there. The fact that the Ignite got burned by Naru is actually probably overall good for Millenium, even though there was a flash burned, purely because of the fact that Karthus at level 6 is at risk so heavily from being Spirit Rushed onto and getting charmed. So the fact that, you know, there's no Ignite, that kill potential is a little bit lower, could actually end up working out for them.
Despite J-Reed. Oh,
whoa,
Kevin!
Kevin!
A lot of trouble in that bot lane. Actually tanks a few too many tower shots there, but Transcendent Blade's going to stop Elwin going too aggressive and going to be able to survive that one.
Yeah, also importantly, those Transcendent Blades cleared out the minions, which meant that Elwin, even after the Transcendent Blades ended, could not continue going in due to the fact that he had no minions backing him up. Definitely a really nice play there by Kevin, keeping him out of a sticky situation. He's actually done a good job. Oh, hang on though, Kevin.
Oh, the beautiful double play. Ryu in a lot of trouble. Here comes the ultimate from Arthas though, but a nice grab from J-Reed. Forces the flash out of Velastraza. Now Crystal on the front line. He gets taken solo. Horo picks up the first kill. In fact, it was Ryu that picked it up. Horo doing a lot of true damage though with his E.
Yeah, that ability does do a ton of damage in these early levels. He is using it to great effect. Ryu hits 6, but the True Fire Barrage not going to land. He still wants something though. He's playing so aggressive.
But Ryu gets caught up by the... Oh my days. Hook City down in this bot lane. J-Reed not quite able to land that though. It's not going to be another kill coming out, but Ryu narrowly missing that True Shot Barrage.
Yeah, had that landed, he definitely could have killed Velastraza. No flash available on him. And of course, Velastraza, he's taken the Ignite this game. He knows that they need to be able to win in all-ins after they get some poke down onto Ryu and J-Reed to win this lane. So taking the Ignite meant that he did not have Exhaust available to help out in that fight. Especially when that was kind of like a 3.5 versus 3. You've got Kerp's ultimate coming in and doing a lot of damage. That Requiem is very powerful in the early game.
Yeah, and Kerp already, despite only being in one actual fight himself, picking up that extra assist from the bot lane, and if he can continue to do that, then he'll slowly but surely fall ahead of Naru.
Whoa, look at this damage he's doing too.
Yeah, obviously the Qs from Karthus do a little bit extra damage, and Naru having a hard time. Nice fancy feet there, able to dodge most of those.
Oh, Crystal!
Crystal in a lot of trouble. That's level 7 versus level 4. He gets destroyed, and Kevin showing that whichever champion he goes on, he's gonna do so well.
Even though they went for that invade at level 1 and pushed Horo off his buff, Crystal is still 2 levels lower than him right now because of all the fighting that Horo's been doing in that bot lane. And when Kevin came there, he did probably 30 to 35% of Crystal's damage, or health rather, with 1 Transcendent Blades and hit and strike attack. That was crazy. He is so far ahead of him right now. And bot lane, J-Ree, he wants to play aggressive right now, but Velstraza...
Yeah, we see Naru coming in from behind there to grab onto Padden, but J-Ree in a lot of trouble. He's going to go down. The Orb Deception picking up that one, but he manages to get the counter kill onto Padden. Now it's a 3v3 in the bot lane. Horo has arrived, as well as the TP coming down. Kevin on this front line, he's not very tanky just yet, has a lot of damage though. Can they turn this one around onto Elwind? It doesn't look like they want to. Elwind already with that giant spell, very tanky at this stage, and Kevin jumping forwards, manages, no, he doesn't dodge a death sentence.
No.
Really nice play by them. That's the unstoppable force, knocks him up, but he's able to get away with this one. So much damage coming across. Horo now on this front line does a lot. That's Ryu picking up 1 kill, and everyone is going down despite the health bars being so low. Millenium pick up 3 kills in that bot lane. I thought for sure that was DP's fine.
Did you know that Ezreal is actually a mid lane bruiser? They changed him in the last patch. He just sits inside 3 people and auto attacks, and just that's all he does, really, right? That was crazy. Ryu did not have any pressure on him, even though he arcane shifted into an Ahri, a Thresh, and a Malphite. That's insane. I cannot believe that he managed to get away with doing that, and it's all because Kevin baited that so perfectly. He burned everything on him instead of it going onto Ryu. Just let him just jump forward, tank up everything, and go for auto attacks. That was a crazy fight. Millenium are so far ahead right now. Almost 4K at only 11 minutes.
Man, I think they should consider swapping Ryu to the AD carry position permanently. This guy is 4-0-3 already, as well as being 20 CS on his lane opponent. He's headed back to base. He's picked up that phase, picked up that tier as well. Speaking of tier, this guy is on a 10. That was awful. I apologize. I'll take that back.
That was awful. We'll just pretend that that didn't happen. But, you know, meanwhile, Kevin is now 3-0-1. I want to talk about this real quick, because Elwind is actually still out-trading him. That Sunfire is so good in the early game with dealing with that. Naru, he's trying to steal his blue.
He's gonna maybe get it. Horo actually flashes in to the Grand Skyfall there. Not the best decision making I've ever seen.
He just wanted a hug, man.
Yeah, maybe he did. He just wanted to be part of the action, you know.
Oh, Crystal's diving top.
That one up, and now Kevin could be in trouble. That's going to be the stun going down. Able to dodge away from the Orb of Deception, though, and survives that encounter pretty healthily.
Yeah, unless that orb landed, I definitely think Dark Passage made the right decision to not go in. Had they gone for that, Equilibrium Strike would have at least killed 1 person. I'm fairly confident that when you're 3-0-1 on Irelia at only 12 minutes in, you do a lot in situations like that, because your health being low means you guarantee to stun at least 1 person, go in and do some serious work. Looking at the mid lane, Kerp is doing so good, even though he's in a very unfavorable lane matchup. Oh, the hook doesn't quite land. Are they going to go for a death sentence here? They could maybe try and turn around. Doesn't look like they want to, but yes, in the mid lane, Ahri typically is very strong against Karthus, but because Ahri has had to spend a lot of his time in other lanes, Naru hasn't been able to go for Karthus in any serious way, and Kerp has just been farming up. He's managed to take the tower already.
Yeah, and he's picked up the death cap as well, which is such a big deal on Karthus. Not only does it give you dominance in that lane, but of course it gives you dominance across the map. And we're seeing now Horo has come to this bot lane. They're trying to put some pressure onto the tower, but a nice culling by Padden just going to negate that, and they're heading over towards this dragon area. Nobody dead on Dark Passage right now, though. Looks like they just want to force the fight.
Yeah, and I don't blame them at all. When Kerp has rushed for an item like the Rabadon's Death Cap, you know that they want to be doing stuff early, right? Because typically, when we used to see Karthus in competitive play, it was pretty much always Athene's Rod of Ages or Tear straight away, trying to go for that Seraphs if you go for the Tear, right? Because you don't have very much mana regen. You do get mana when you kill units, but oh man, Naru!
Kerp could be in trouble here. Takes a lot of damage from Naru. There's the 3rd Spirit Rush. The Ignite is ticking. Isn't going to be enough. Yes, it is. Naru with a nice little pickup solo kill there onto Kerp.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. As soon as Naru got to a point where he didn't need to commit time to other lanes, he was able to just all-in that very easily. And now, 4 members near this dragon, they want to go for it. Actually, I think they can do this very easily. They got 5 members, although that was a great True Fire barrage. Kevin doesn't look like one of his TP down.
One thing though about this Dragon Change, actually Paddock taking a lot of damage from Ryu there, misses his Mystic Shot though, so I'm not going to be able to continue on that. But one change about this Pantheon no longer being able to block the auto attacks from Dragon because they're now spells, it means that when Ryu is trying to poke him down, he's always got that passive ult to block those Mystic Shots.
Yeah, actually, there's another change to Dragon which PM cancel. Look at how much they're getting in top lane. This is crazy. Kevin's managed to take down 2 towers from this potentially. I think he's going to get it regardless of the TP. Yes, he does. Very nice play by Kevin. He's probably just going to be able to walk away from this too, so nice job there. Good decision to just go for that instead of the Dragon. But like I was talking about in 4.21, there is a separate change to the Dragon which is worth talking about. You can't dance him around by kiting in and out of melee range. What that means is that there was much more AoE being taken by the side of Dark Passage there. Death Sentence go down, but all it's going to do is spot out a group of people that you do not want to walk into.
No, definitely not. That wolf in that jungle as well is going to give them some nice vision when Dark Passage enter into their own jungle again. And Kevin being an absolute pain, taking away the enemy red buff as well. And, I mean, Kevin has been absolutely on it these 2 games.
Yeah, he definitely has. Both this game and last game, he has had incredibly good laning phases. And this game, if you looked at the laning phase, right, I guess laning phase is a misleading way of saying what I'm trying to say, because in lane, Elwin was doing a really good job against him. He was out trading him, he was out farming him. But Kevin just did so much by going for that invade on Crystal. He shut him down tons, meant that Crystal couldn't put pressure on the map anywhere else because he was so far behind in levels. And that meant, firstly, Kevin wasn't at risk of being ganked. Secondly, no one else was at risk of being ganked, at least in any serious kind of way for a while. And he also had the extra kill aboard for money. Crystal gets hooked!
Jay Reed, this is not a hook you want to go for. He's going to go down. Nice pickup there by Dark Passage, and Crystal picking up that kill in the end despite being the one that got hit.
Oh, whoa, this missed my fight.
What's going down? Curve just getting destroyed yet again. Naru picking that one up, and now Kevin flashes forward. A beautiful ultimate from Kurt. Gets the counter kill onto Naru, and now Velastraza, the big man remaining, throws down that box. That's going to keep him alive as we see Crystal pick up his blue buff.
Kevin does so much damage right now, and obviously Kerp, you know, when you're playing Karthus, you have that passive that allows you to keep casting spells for a little while, Death Defied. Using that meant that he was able to get a huge Requiem off because he's rushed for that death cap and just complement Kevin's dive in so perfectly. I cannot believe how good a turnaround that was, considering that Kurt basically died instantly there. He had no chance to put down any spells before he went down. And this is going to be the 5th tower of the game going down from 1. I mean, only 17 minutes, they are just pushing up a storm right now.
Yeah, and I mean that... It's an interesting thing that they picked that Karthus into Ahri. One of the downsides of Karthus is you are so immobile, very easy to just sort of pick up.
Oh, Elwin
could be in trouble in this top lane. They've set up a death brush and he's not going to be able to get away. Or is he? There's the flash. But a nice Mystic shot by Ryu. Gonna pick that one up.
J-Ree.
Now J-Ree is pushing forwards. Gets the knock up onto Velastraza. Takes a lot of damage. Throws the hook, but Horo is in his ultimate form. Ragnarok going to stop any of that coming through. A nice ultimate by Ryu. Picks up the kill onto Velastraza, and just a beautiful invade by Millenium, and they're just taking advantage after advantage.
One of the really cool things about picking Ezreal in this comp... Oh, hang on, there's going to be another fight, Kevin!
Oh, there's the DFG. Is he able to dodge the charm? No, he's not. He goes down, but the grab onto Naru, the silence goes down a split second after the flash away. And now they're jumping forwards. Ryu picks up a kill onto Crystal Med. Ryu, 7-0-4. This guy is an Ezreal god.
He is an Ezreal god, and just wait till he picks up some more items, because he is going back to base with 1600 gold. He's got a BF sword now. Once he picks up that BF sword item, no amount of armor is going to save you, basically. He just does so much. He's also... As Ezreal, you scale really nicely with levels. All of your abilities do a lot of base damage. So the fact that he is able to level nicely with all these kills that he's getting just complements the amount of gold he's getting as well. But what I wanted to say before is Ryu picking Ezreal this game, right? The ability to speed up your allies' attacks this game is actually really, really strong. That Essence Flux is going to be making Horo and Kevin even better than they already are when it comes to these fights. And it's such a synergetic composition that in this mid-game, when you've got the Trinity Force power spike, they can just run in and obliterate people.
Ryu, after all of those compliments we gave him, missing his ultimate onto Elwind, and Elwind possibly going to be able to walk away with this one yet. Going to use his ultimate there, and now we see Crystal actually using that man drop to get to the top lane, but J-Ree more than happy to just walk away from that one.
Yeah, the fact that that's not available anymore does mean that they can go for some pretty crazy split push strats if they want to go for that now. Kevin is really good at split pushing on Irelia. He's got tons and tons of ability to get away from bad situations, so if he wanted to go for a split push, the rest of the team could go somewhere else, and because there's no Grand Skyfall, if you've got good ward coverage, you're not going to get caught out by that.
Are they going to 20-minute Baron?
That is such a crazy idea, but I think they can do it.
They have the damage. They've got an Irelia, they have a Carthus, they have an Olaf with true damage, and then Ryu is so fed. Look how fast that is going down. They've got this easily.
Oh, they know about it.
DP are none the wiser, or aren't they? They throw a ward in. He jumps forward, but he's not able to get the stealth. That's Belastraza going down. A kill for Horror there. And now we see, look how aggressively Ryu is positioned. He's jumping forwards. He's trying to get onto Naru. If he gets hit by the charm, though, he could be in a lot of trouble. But 20-minute Baron coming out of the lane.
That was absolutely nuts. They just went straight for it, and Ryu, what he did at the end there, where he arcane shifted blindly, was so ballsy. I cannot believe that he blindly went for that. If you look at the ward coverage, the bit that they were running away through did not have a ward coming out of Millennium. They had no idea if they were just waiting to turn around or something like that. So the fact that Ryu went for that just shows how aggressively he's thinking this game. And, you know, you can't fault him for it. It's working so well so far, but this time it might not. Oh,
He
man.
manages to dodge the charm, though, but he is silenced now. Could be in a lot of trouble. The Ignite is enough. He goes down. Crystal picking that kill up, and now we see Kurt being so aggressive. He's flashing forwards. That's Naru going down. That's 2 kills for him. He's in the midline. He's happy to die. He's going to use his ultimate now. There's going to be a lot of damage coming down, but it's not enough to pick up another kill. It's enough to secure them this second-tier tower, though.
Yeah, I mean, overall, that was definitely worth it for Millennium, but Ryu, mate, you need to stop jumping into situations blindly. I think the reason DP went for that play is pretty much purely because they know that he's been biting off more than he should be able to chew a lot this game. So, nice play by them to try and minimize that effect of the Baron. Obviously, 3 members lost it, which is quite a big deal, but they still lost a tower. That's just, and a dragon. That just shows you how far ahead Millennium are. Even when Dark Passage do a good play, it's not enough to get them any objectives.
Yeah, and they are 10,000 gold down right now at only 22 minutes as well. I mean, they are even in dragons, so both teams have that extra 6% attack damage and ability power. Obviously, that was
power?
yeah. That was obviously lowered down from the 8% on 4.20. That's now only 6% on 4.21, which is the patch we're playing on. But, I mean, just that sheer gold difference at 22 minutes. I mean, in this patch, or since the new Summoner's Rift came out, we've been seeing much longer, slower games come out, but Millennium looking like they've had enough of long, slow games.
Yeah, well, the 4.21 patch did do a little bit to try and stop those games from being so slow, and to try and slightly increase the effect of snowballing. There's a Grand Skyfall, though. What's he going to go for?
Ryu could be in trouble here. Has to flash away, but he flashes a little bit too late. The charm is not quite going to land, but he's going to go down. Naru picking that one up with the Spirit Rush, and now Elwin going to use that unstoppable force onto Kurt. He goes down as well. Double kill for Naru. That's a really nice fight for them. But now Kevin jumps onto Naru. The charm lands, but he just doesn't have the damage. Kevin picks up that kill. And Horror, look at his damage. He's charging forwards. Double kill for Kevin now. Can he get the triple? Yes, he can. He's looking for the quadra. J-Ree is going to throw out the rocket grab. Gets onto Elwin. The flash over the wall, though. He's denying that quadra kill if he can. Kevin looks like he wants to chase for this one. He's not looking to end the game, but
yeah, he's not even prioritizing the base right now. He is just being bloodthirsty as heck. And I want to touch on this again. Ryu, dude, seriously, that was so far out. He had no one backing him up. If you go for stuff like that, you need to have people near you that you can kite into. He did not in that situation, and there's such a long distance engage on Dark Passage that it's so imperative that you have people backing you up. You've got Spirit Rush, you've got Grand Skyfall, you've got, you know, a flash into a unstoppable force. You can't go that far out without seriously good vision or some backup.
I think the biggest thing as well was he had the ability to get out of that. He had his Arcane Shift and his Flash available, but he held his Flash. He thought he could get away, and then flashed after the stun kick through from Pantheon, which kind of was too little too late at that stage, and it ended up just blowing his summoner as well.
I want to talk briefly about the unsung hero of this game, in my opinion, Kirk. He does so much damage right now. Like, his lay wastes have been chunking people for like 20% health, and obviously you can do those every second or so. So, in actuality, even though Ryu's been dying, the DPS has been coming from Kirk. He does so much. If you look at the stats after the game, I'm pretty sure he's going to be pretty high up there. Ooh, Horo!
Horo could be in trouble. Has that Ragnarok, but it's not going to be enough. The CC is not required because they have that damage, but Naru now jumping forwards with that Spirit Rush. Can they get onto J-Ree? Looks like they can't. Well, can they? The Death Sentence goes down, but Belistraza gets taken so low. That's going to be one kill. Picks up 4 Kerf. He's walking into the back line. Puts the exhaust down onto Padden. He's trying to get this extra kill. He's going to go down. Has his ultimate, though. That's going to be a double kill coming in for him. No, it's not. Ryu picks up one of the kills for us. That would have been a triple for him. And now, Crystal Meth goes down. That's a double kill for Ryu. And again, after a terrible start, Millenium still win these team fights. They are so far ahead.
Yeah, and at the end there, Ryu, he's now picked up an Infinity Edge. He crit for so much of Pantheon's health. That was around about 30% of his health just done in one crit. He doesn't even have his Mirror Mana yet. The game has not gone on long enough for him to fully stack that, even though he's been spamming spells. It's crazy how dominant Millenium have been in the early games in both these last 2 games.
Yeah, and Ryu actually going on to that inhibitor, maybe a little bit over aggressively, just dodging out from that death sentence, but they're managing. I mean, Millenium have been out of position at the start of the last 3 team fights, and yet they're still convincingly winning these team fights and extending their gold lead, and now they're setting up a death rush.
Oh, Belistraza nearly. That True Fire Barrage does so much damage considering he's going purely an AD build. But it actually looks like maybe Dark Passage wanted to go for a flank there with Elwind and Crystal, but I think rightfully they decided to back out.
No, I mean, if they could land that Unstoppable Force with Ari's over Deception hitting 5 people with the true damage, they potentially could still win a team fight. They do have a decent amount of damage on their team. I mean, they have the 2 items on both the AD carry and their mid laner, so while it's not as much damage as their opponents, they still do have enough damage to deal with people, but it's down to whether they would be able to burst down enough to equal them.
Well, here we go. It looks like we're going to see the next fight now. Kevin doing a very short-range TP.
Yeah, the Dragon's going to be ignored. Horo actually going to go down to begin this fight. J-Ree getting a nice silence across the team, and look at the damage coming across. Spirit Rush has to be used defensively. Now Ryu jumping forwards. Crystal is going to be able to jump at him, but I don't think he can finish that one off. Ryu picking that one up. A double kill comes through for Kevin, who is just tearing through the enemy team, and yet again, we see the True Fire Barrage. Nice Sonya's by Naru, gonna save his life there. That is gonna be the mid lane inhibitor by the looks of things going down.
I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think they want to push this. I think they're just having fun at the moment, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
God,
let's talk about that last fight. I'm sorry, we're laughing far too much. We're meant to be professional much. All right, shape up.
This is a pretty funny game, though.
Nah,
I mean, Millenium not taking
totally
this 100% serious. I mean,
All
they
right.
swapped their mid laner and their AD carry around this game.
Yeah, they're definitely having fun here as well as, you know, taking names. But I wanted to talk about Kevin's TP in that fight. It was from one side of the river, like just at the edge of the river, to the other side of the river, just so that he could get behind them straight away. It was a bit of a weird TP, to be honest, but it worked. You can't deny that. And actually, they're going here for an engage.
Yeah, J-Ree getting caught by the Death Sentence, throws out the grab, gets the red buff. Maybe not the grab that he wanted, but a bit of a consolation prize. That's going to go across to Ryu. Pick that up with a Mystic Shot, and now they're setting up for this, getting warded out there, so not going to be able to pick anyone off just yet. Able to clear out that ward immediately.
Yeah. Part of the reason why these team fights are so hard for DP, I mentioned it earlier, but I want to talk about it in a little bit more detail, is the fact that Kerp does so much. Hang on, Crystal! Ooh, it has to flash away, but yes, Kerp does so much damage, because if you look at what happened in the early game, right, Ryu was 7-0, everyone was building armor. You got 2 Randuin, you got Sunfire, you got Tabai. Oh, Naru.
Oh, the flash engaged by Kevin. He's going to get taken solo so quickly, though. He goes down. Now we see a really nice ultimate from Malphite. Knocks everyone up. That's going to be Kerp on this front line. He goes down, but he has his ultimate ticking away. This is going to do so much damage. He picks up a double kill from that one. And nice Sonya's from Naru, but he's the last man remaining yet again. The axe lands from Horo, and despite yet another really nice engage from DP, they don't have the damage to keep on fighting like this.
Yeah, they just can't win in extended fights because there's too much both mobility and damage coming out of Millenium. If they go and put everything onto one person, which is what they have to do to kill someone like Aurelia right now, you have to put everything on Horo. Oh man, I'm trying to be serious right now, and they're just not letting me much. I mean, just throwing axes at each other. But yes, if you burn all of your crowd control onto one guy, then you cannot stop Ezreal from Arcane Shifting around. You can't stop a Ragnarok Torah. Well, you can't stop him anyway from just running around and going for whoever he wants. Kerp there was able to run and defile 5 members because all of the crowd control went down with Kevin when they caught him. And as a result of that, Kerp, who just has ridiculous damage right now and no magic results built against him, could shred everyone so easily.
Yeah, so just Millenium just demolishing Dark Passage right now. I've played too much World of Warcraft in my life. I nearly called it Devouring Plague. So any Shadow Priests out there, shout out to you guys. But I mean, Dark Passage right now in a really bad situation, but they're playing so aggressively despite this gold deficiency. I really don't think they can maintain this style of play this game.
The only way that they can win a fight is to actually catch Millenium split up, i.e., if Kevin's like split pushing and they kill him, and then they 5 versus 4, or if Kerp is farming bot and they kill him and they 5 versus 4. That's the only way they can win a team fight. We've seen them try otherwise too many times for that to not be the case.
Nice Spirit Rush there by Naru, gonna dodge out from that Power Fist. However, oh sorry, Rocket Grab. But that's gonna mean Spirit Rush is on cooldown. If Millenium can force a fight right now, I mean, they win convincingly anyway, but just a little advantage that they can pop that, but DP, not going to let this Baron go away for free. They're going to start shoving down this mid lane.
Yeah, it's a good call to go for that so there's less Supermans, but look at the damage on Balistraza.
Rocket Grab going down. Just as insult to injury there. They're going to kick off this Baron, but we see DP immediately heading towards this mid lane. Looks like they're a little bit indecisive. This could be the man drop coming through. Yes, it is. He's going to try and get the steal. Can he get it, though? He goes down immediately. Gets absolutely melted, and now we see the enhanced recalls coming through. They should be able to defend this inhibitor.
Yeah, I mean, DP know this. They're not even going to go for it. But going for this bot lane tower and then backing away does make a lot of sense. It's making the most of a bad situation for Dark Passage, and you got to give them credit. They're trying their best to win this. Ryu could actually get caught here. They're not going to go for it. They realize that J-Ray and the rest of the team are nearby. Oh, Elwin!
Elwin could be in a lot of trouble. Ryu knew that they were there, clearly. He's going to be able to get some damage down. Elwin's so tanky, but by the looks of things, not tanky enough. Has his ultimate, but decides he doesn't want to waste it. It's going to go down. We see Lucian just able to get away there, kind of narrowly escaping with that recall. Now we see Millenium grouping up towards this mid lane. The inhibitor will be respawning soon, and it looks like that might be their next objective.
Yeah, what we saw bot there with Kevin is basically that, or sorry, with Elwin is basically that if you don't have Kerp there to try and kill him, it's going to take a long time because he's just got so much armor, right? He's got the Tabai, the Sunfire, the Randuins. He's actually starting to build magic resist. I think he's identified correctly that Kerp is annihilating him in a team fight right now, but until he gets a little bit more, Kerp can still just dumpster on him whenever they go for a fight, and it's really important that they don't stack 5 people on that defile again. Oh, Ryu gets hooked!
Oh, a nice look there. Goes onto Ryu, but he's going to be okay. Able to arcane shift away from this one. The Ragnarok comes through, meaning Toro is a force to be reckoned with. But nobody's going down yet, except for Kevin picking up Crystal. That's going to be Naru able to get a counter kill, but a beautiful true shot. Manages to go through, pick that one up. There's the ultimate from Karthus, picking up a double kill. Kevin picks up a double kill as well. That's going to be Elwin, the last man to fall. Ryu picking up his 14th kill of the game. And it looks like, on that note, they're going to be able to end. They're heading onto these Nexus towers. Nobody wants to tank it right now. J-Ree going to walk forwards. In the end, actually, Ryu tanking this one up. He may die from this. He's going to survive narrowly. But Millenium take this, double their opponent's kills. 21,000 gold ahead of their opponents at 34 minutes.